It's coming. So in your handouts, there was a handout that I only made 100 copies, so you're going to have to share. Spread them all around. There's a little white piece of paper, and it's a text that I wanted to share with you because this text was taught to me from a teacher and a friend of mine. His name is... Did I forget something? No. Okay. Is that what it is? Yeah. His name is Rabbi Aaron Penkin. And Rabbi Penkin, he just visited us a year ago here in our synagogue. Some of you might remember him. He's the president of the Hebrew Union College Jewish Institute of Religion. And when I was coming up in school, in rabbinical school, he was the dean of students. And little by little, he kind of did all of these amazing kinds of things in our Jewish community and eventually became president of the College Institute, the 12th president. It's an amazing feat for a young man like him. And it was really tremendous. And the Hebrew Union College Jewish Institute of Religion is the body, the seminary within the Reformed Jewish community. And he was here about a year ago, around this time, kind enough to make the trip and give Rabbi Bronstein, our Rabbi Emerita, her honorary doctorate. And it was a lovely, wonderful event, and he's a wonderful teacher. And last week, he's always been a pilot, crazy guy. And his plane went down. And it was a real tragedy for people that learned with him, people that studied with him, people that worked with him on different kinds of committees. It was somebody who was really so thoughtful and kind and generous and was really menschy. And despite the fact that, he was a rabbi and this PhD and president of this seminary, and there's part of Jewish history that's going to be forevermore his name, he was just this really down-to-earth, thoughtful, and decent guy. And at 53 years old, he died. And so this text is a text that he taught me. So I wanted to teach it to you. This is sneaking up. Here we go. It says, the townspeople of Simonia, which is a town, we're not really sure where it is, but it's kind of up north of Israel and around Tiberias. The townspeople of Simonia came to Rabbi Judah Hanasi. Judah Hanasi is the editor of the Mishnah, the greatest of these writings. He was like this major editor, redactor, and so he was a smart guy, right? Even as smart as Aaron. So Judah Hanasi said, we would like to hire someone who can interpret Torah for us, judge us, supervise our synagogue affairs, teach us elementary and advanced Torah, and oversee whatever might be our needs. So the townspeople of Simonia went to Rabbi Judah Hanasi as if he's the director of placement for all of the rabbis. And by the way, I taught this text during my interviewing. Kind of makes sense. And they say to Judah Hanasi, we want somebody who can do everything. You didn't work out that way, but that's what they want. He gave them his disciple, Levi Bar Sisi. We don't know much about Levi, but he's strong enough that Judah Hanasi himself would designate this man to lead this community in Simonia. The people of Simonia made him a large bima. He sat him upon it and approached him with a question concerning the laws of chalitza. When somebody who's married and they don't have children, and it says so in the Torah, if they don't have children and the man dies, then the wife has to marry the man's brother. Nobody ever thought that was a good idea. And so chalitza gets you out of doing that. That's all you need to know. So there's a question about the laws of chalitza. But Levi could not answer the question. Levi, the one that's being brought to by Judah Hanasi himself. They asked him another question, and again he didn't reply. They say, perhaps he's not an expert in halacha, in Jewish law. Let us ask him to explain a verse from the book of Daniel. Now, just so you know, the book that nobody understands in the Bible is the book of Daniel. And they did so, but he still had no answer from them. They went back to Rabbi Yehuda Hanasi, and he said, is this the way you satisfy our request? You're the director of placement. You should have sent us somebody who could teach Torah and know the laws and be able to explain these things. We ask him questions, and there's nothing, right? Narishkeit. Okay. He replied, I swear, I have given you someone as good as myself. Bring him to me. And then Rabbi Judah asked him the same questions that the people of Simonia asked. 3 questions, and he immediately gave substantial appropriate answers. So Rabbi Yehuda asked, why did you not answer them when they asked? Why did you not answer them when they asked these questions? And Levi Bar Sisi, he replies, he says, they made me this huge bima and they sat me upon it. I became so enthralled by my own self-importance that I forgot what I knew. This is in the Jerusalem Talmud, and I think it's so significant because one of the things that we're going to do tonight in just a moment is we're going to invite up some of our seniors graduating from high school. And so one reason I shared this particular text is because, this important scholar and leader of Reform Judaism and pluralism in Israel and this incredible teacher and decent human being, I wanted to teach in memory of him, but I also want these students who are going on to their next chapter to see a text that they can see themselves in. In fact, I think we can all see ourselves in. And I love this text because they made him such a huge bima, right? Bima is what's it in English? Pulpit. It's the pulpit, the altar, right? They made such a large bima, and I grew up in synagogues with a high bima, right? The stronger and more authoritarian the rabbi, the higher the bima was. We here in Boulder like small bimas, right? And make self-deprecating jokes. That's kind of how we roll. But he was put on such a big bima that he lost his Torah. Sometimes we get in a position, a job, a placement, a university, and then all of a sudden, because of that title, or that job, or that school, or wherever we might be deployed, we've become so important only to ourselves. So the message for us and for our students who are finishing up high school is, no matter what bima you end up sitting on, don't lose your Torah. Our job is to stay grounded. Torah is to help us encounter one another. Torah and these laws and these traditions and these rituals are to help us stay grounded, not so that we get a big job and then we forget everything that's really important because they put us on this big bima. And that's going to happen at some point in all of our lives, that we are in a position that we forget our authentic selves. One of the things that I hope most about Congregation Har Hashem is that we get to open a door and create a little bit of safe space. It doesn't always work. We're trying, but there's still hurt sometimes. There's still people that are left out. There are still people on the sidelines. But we're trying to make this such a safe space that you will take that idea and bring it to wherever you go, whether it's your house or your university, whether you join the military and serve far away or you're going to stay close to home, it doesn't really matter. You're going to find yourself and ourselves in a position with some responsibility, and we can't let it go to our heads. We have to do our part. Walk in God's ways and walk humbly, recognizing that the world isn't all about me. Now, I think we share that with our students when they become B'nai Mitzvah, because God created adolescents where they think it's all about them. And we also think about that when they move on to their next chapter and we have to let go. And as we let go, we have to let go a little bit about our own self-importance, even as a parent. Because I can't keep telling them what to do. Like, I will. But that's not really how it works. They have to make their journeys, just like Levi. But he was so distracted. And the people were so unrealistic who hired him, the search committee that wanted somebody perfect. Well, let me tell you, that doesn't happen for anyone, for anywhere. So let us build a bima where we can have sacred moments and have real encounters where we learn from one another, and for our students who grow, they get to take a leap of faith. So I'm going to invite our 12th graders for the next few minutes. I'm going to ask you folks to come and join us up on the bima. This really big high bima. They're all around. Good. Come on up. Face me. Good. So, this is, whoops, are we okay? Just put them right back on the top. Can't do that here. Great. So, we want to encourage you to grow and to journey and have amazing adventures and encounters. Be open to people's gifts and be courageous enough to share your own. This is an exciting time for you, and those of us here who've been playing a part in raising some of you, or helping to support and nourish a community that has helped to support and raise you, we are delighted. I'm going to ask Catherine to come up and share a brief word, and then some blessings.
So I wanted to share with all of you a text, because you know me, I like texts. So this is from Pirkei Avot, and the text goes, make for yourself a rabbi or a mentor or a teacher, acquire for yourself a friend, and judge every person favorably. So how are we supposed to understand this text? Well, the way we understand texts is we go look at more texts. So, the very first part, Aseh lecha rav, find for yourself a rabbi, a mentor, a teacher. So what does that mean? So the Midrash says, it's very curious. Why should you go find yourself a teacher now that you're going off on your journey? Wouldn't it make more sense for you to find students? Well, the text is very clear. Find for yourself a teacher. And it says, because when you follow your passions, you go seek out someone to teach you. And that's why you should find for yourself a teacher. So we hope that during your time at Har Hashem, you have had teachers and mentors who have fueled your Judaism and your passions and helped you see the connection between them both. And we hope that as you go off on your journey, you continue to be fueled by those passions. So the next part of the text, Uknei lecha chaver, and find for yourself a friend. So what does commentary say about that? Well, it takes, one of the commentaries takes some words, some of Solomon's words, and says, so here's the thing about a friend. Better two than one, for they have a good reward for their labor. For if one falls, the other will lift him up. But if one falls alone, there's no one to lift him up. And if two lie down, they will be warm. And if it's just one, how can that person be warm? And if one attacks him, the two will stand up against him. So Judaism teaches that we have a responsibility to lift up others and to stand up for others. This text teaches us that friends are meant to do just that. We hope you have found some of those friends here, and then as you go off on your journeys, you will remember to acquire such friends so that you can both support others and you can be supported. And so the last part of this text, judge every person favorably. Well, what does that mean? So one of the commentaries says, well, it means you're supposed to receive everyone cheerfully. And then it says, but you're also supposed to receive everyone in this kind of low, mellow spirit. Why? Because you should be flexible. And what is the most flexible thing this text says? It's a reed. You know, a reed goes like that. And it compares it, says in contrast to a cedar which stands up straight. And why the reed? What's so special about it? It is it's what's used to make the quill to which we write Torahs. So you should be like that reed. So sometimes we think of this sense of Judging everyone favorably means that you should assume the best of others. We certainly hope that you will do that. But another interpretation is that you have to know when to respond to someone with cheerfulness and when to be a little more subdued. The commentary also suggests that it is this awareness and flexibility with which you approach others that is most important. So much so that it comes back to this read and the connection to Torah. We hope that you will have this sense of assuming a person's merit, approach them favorably, but also be flexible. But we also hope that you will have that approach to Torah. Assume the Torah has merit and approach it with flexibility. And be like that reed that wrote the Torah. Write your own Torah and continue to explore your Judaism. It is to you that we look to continue the story of the Jewish people. We are grateful that we have been part of your story here, and we can't wait to see the rest of the story that you write.
So, before we share our prayer, we're going to ask their parents, or parents of 12th graders, if you folks will just stand where you are. Terrific. Okay, students, may it be your will, Adonai, our God and God of our ancestors, that you guide our children safely on their journeys and that you lead them on their path in peace. We thank you for bringing us to this holy time of transition in the lives of our children in our community. Watch over them, O God, protect them as they move from the loving embrace of family and synagogue to new horizons. We thank you for the opportunity we have had to bestow the blessing of Torah upon all of our students. As they have found Torah here amongst us, we ask that our children also seek and find Torah and gemilut chasadim, acts of goodness and kindness out in the world. May they always be diligent students of truth, and may the study of Torah always be sweet as honey on their lips. May they always know life and love. May they always pursue peace and justice. And may they always carry their precious Jewish heritage with pride and dignity. Bruchim atem b'voachem, bruchim atem b'tzeitchem. Blessed were you when you came into this place. Blessed may you be when you go forth from here. And for our parents, we learn from the prophet Malachi that the hearts of parents will be turned toward their children, and the hearts of their children will be turned to their parents. This is the Haftarah right before liberation of Passover. It's right before Passover. We wonder, why is that the text for Passover for the Haftarah? Could it be because we love Seder and we bring everybody together? Could be. Is it a moment of liberation because we hope that they move out of our house? Maybe. More than that, it's about family unity and affection. The prophet wants to build a bridge between the gap of generations. And here is where a gap might seem to appear, but God told Abram to go forth and make this journey. Go forth from your land, from your people, from your parents' home, to a place that I will show you. That's exactly what you have encouraged your children to do. So as Avram left for his journey, a centerpiece of Jewish life, and God bless them, may God bless you, who've raised up another generation, ready and strong to engage and encounter a world, to be grounded enough so that no bima is going to distract them from who they ought to be. May you all find blessings in significance and in humanity and in grace and in love.
Yivarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God look kindly upon you and always be gracious to you.
Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
And may God reach out to you in tenderness and give you, all of you, shalom. Now you should go back and give your parents a hug. Aleinu is on fire.